a lot of puff that some people like. It was just me really sitting down in the classroom of life and instructing and providing wisdom and lessons that would help people on their journey. And so I wasn't quite sure how that would resonate with a global audience and the sustainability of it. And so as I look back now, more than a decade later, and to see the growth of the show, to see the countries around the world that are listening and tuning in, and the people that have reached out and shared how the message and the work has transformed their lives, is just absolutely amazing. And it just lets you know that people are really hungry for empowerment. You know, when I really started this, there was this question in the back of my mind: are people really interested in this? Is there really a need and a space for this? Because, I mean, we have so many inspirational and motivational type of people out there, but is there really a space for people that really want to get wisdom and tools and insights to help them live a greater life? And the answer to the question was unequivocally yes, and that's why we're still here and still providing this message of empowerment. One of the reasons that I continue to do this podcast is because I don't want you to just go through life. I want you to go through life wiser. I want you to go through life with greater discernment, greater clarity, greater perceptivity, greater acuity. I want you to have the ability to properly interpret your life and to understand the times and the seasons of your life and to make the most of them. You know, every season is not the same. Every season is not going to be a bed of roses or a cakewalk, but there is something that we can extract from each season of our lives that can aid us in our evolution and our growth. Let me say it again. There is something that we have the ability to extract from every season of our lives that can aid in the evolution of our lives and empower us on our journey. What so many people don't understand, and what I'm trying to get a generation of people to really grasp through everything that I do, is that success is not a destination, it's a journey. And if you make success a destination in your life, you're going to live a life of disappointment. You're going to become disillusioned because you're going to always be reaching for something that's not really there. As you go through this life and as you experience victories and triumphs and success, one thing that you will understand very quickly is that success does not have the ability to fulfill you. Success brings a certain level of excitement, a certain level of accomplishment to our lives, but it does not fulfill us, because success is something that is very elusive and something very elusive, something that we're always reaching for, striving for, in pursuit of, but it's something that we never really grasp in our lives. And really, at the end of the day, no matter how many accomplishments, how many accoutrements of success in our lifetime and generation, at the end of the day, nobody is going to be trophy counting. What happens at the end of our lives and our journey is not how many awards we get, not how many trophies we collected, not how many zeros are behind our bank account, but what we really begin to ask ourselves are the questions of significance. Did my life mean something? Did my life have value? Did I make a difference? Do I have regrets? Are there things that I could have done differently? Did I really love people unconditionally? We begin to ask ourselves those deep soul satisfying questions and not those superficial questions that so many people waste their lives asking on a continual basis. At the end of the day, it's not going to be about who we were in competition with, who had the biggest house and the nicest car, who dressed the best. None of those things will matter at the end of our lives. And that's why I want people around the world to understand that success is not a destination, it's a journey. And as I have evolved and grown over the years, what I have discovered is that it's much more fulfilling and much more satisfying when you learn how to simply enjoy the journey of your life, enjoy the ups and downs, the highs and lows, and enjoy the difficulties and the triumphs, the victories and the defeats. It is the compilation and the mixture of all of those experiences that bring the greatest value and significance to our lives. And so what I want you to understand is that success is not something that you have to chase. It is not something outside of you that you're looking for. Success is something that you have the ability to create and define for yourself. Write that down. Success is something that you have the ability to create and to define for yourself. And so many people are so unfulfilled because they are living somebody else's definition of success. One of the most liberating truths for me was when I realized that nobody can define success for me but me. You can't go off of somebody else's definition of success because there are different things that bring soul satisfaction and spiritual peace to your life that doesn't bring it to another person's life. And so when we try to copy and mimic what other people are doing, we're not living authentic to ourselves or to the mission of our lives. You know, one thing you'll always hear me say on this podcast, and if you've heard me speak and give a keynote or read a book or seen me on an interview, one thing you always hear me say is that you got to stay on brand and on mission. And so many people are off brand, and they're off brand because they are living their lives as a replica and a duplication of somebody else's life. And I always tell people your difference cannot be duplicated. And when you live in your zone of difference, you awaken to your significance and you make a contribution to the world that nobody else can make. You know, one of the most liberating truths I've ever discovered in my life is that nobody can beat you at being who you are, and that the greatest gift you can give to humanity is the greatest gift you can give to humanity is the gift of your difference, and the greatest disservice you can do to humanity is to give the world a duplication of somebody else's life. The thing that troubles me today with social media, that troubles me with music, with sports, with popular culture, is that we have everybody trying to be like somebody else and nobody with the courage to stand in the authentic truth of who they are. It's one of the reasons that I was very reluctant to go into podcasting, very reluctant to brand myself in the way that I did, because everything that I saw was a replica of somebody else. And I just had the privilege of doing an interview with my friend Steve Harris on his podcast, The Ugly Truth About Business. And in this interview, I began to tell him about the challenges of being a pioneer and a trailblazer in the space. When I came onto the scene years ago, everybody was a life coach. Everybody was a motivational speaker. Nobody was really doing what I was doing. And so I just kind of dubbed myself as a life coach because that's what everybody did. And as I really began to get clarity around my purpose and mission, I realized that I wasn't a life coach at all. What I was a life strategist. I was a business strategist. I was a thought leader. I was a visionary leader. I was a world leader. I was a global influencer that wasn't like anybody else. My mission was not just to give you inspirational and motivational quotes that made you feel good. My mission was really to help people to discover their difference, find their purpose, maximize their potential, and expand their capacity for greatness so that they can make a meaningful contribution in the world. My assignment was really to work with leaders and to bring solutions to complex global problems. And I didn't see anybody doing that. And so, you know, when you try to go into a space and you try to explain that this is who you are and what you do, and they don't see anybody doing it, it doesn't make sense. And so you get named, it's crazy, strange, too ambitious, this is not going to work. All of these different things happen, and that just comes with being a pioneer. But what you have to do is you have to become so solidified in who you are and what God created you to be and to do that you don't allow anything in this external realm to make you question what you know God has given you to do. God gives us a vision that people around us won't always have the ability to understand. And if you